Hey kids, if your parents will let you, if they're comfortable with it, would you come up? I got something real quick to share with you. When you're in school, right, you raise your hand, right? And I could be wrong about, yes, you raise your hand, that's right. I think there are two reasons why you raise your hand in school. What are they? Yeah. Okay, yeah, don't interrupt. That's okay. Now we have three reasons. That was good. Yeah, but you just did it. You raise your hand when you know the answer, right? That's the second. But there's a third reason you raise your hand. Maybe think out in phys ed sports. A word starting with a V. You almost had it out. Yeah. To volunteer. Right? Sometimes, someone says, who wants to come up or who wants to go first? And you raise your hand, right? You say, yeah, I want to. That is what happened to Isaiah. In that first reading, Isaiah has this vision and he sort of sees himself in heaven, in front of God. And God says, hey, who's going to go for us? God's got a job for someone to do, and Isaiah, I can just picture this. He goes, oh, send me. Here I am, send me. And I just need you to remember that, because God calls to all of us. Most people don't think so, but God calls to all of us in little ways all the time. And sometimes in our life, he calls us in big ways. But anytime you sense God calling you, God asking you to do something, you want to be like Elijah. You want to jump up and down. And you want to say, yes, send me. Because it will absolutely be a tremendous thing for you. It'll always work out. Can you remember that? All right, thanks for coming up. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being here, too. And of course, why does Isaiah do it? He trusts God. He trusts him. He doesn't even know what God wants him to do. And he's like, yeah, send me. He's got to trust in order to do that. That's the lesson from Peter. If I had to tell you one story about St. Peter, it would be this gospel story. It is, to my mind, his best moment. I don't know if you caught the story, Jesus, there's all these crowds, and Jesus is having trouble. They're pressing in on him. He's up near the shore. He gets in Peter's boat, and they put the boat out just a little bit, and then Jesus can sit down, which is important because that was the posture of teachers in that day. You sat down to teach. And so he sat down there in the boat, and the people were on the shore, and he could teach. And when he got done, he says to Simon, hey, why don't you just push the boat out into deeper water and let the nets down for a catch? Perfectly reasonable thought, right? Except Peter is a professional fisherman. Peter knows there's no fish today. He's been out all night fishing. He didn't catch anything. He knows this is just one of those days. You're a professional fisherman. You know this. One of those days, there's no fish. And so there is no doubt in my mind that what is going through Peter's head at that moment is, Jesus, that's stupid. Like, it is just a dumb idea. Like, there's no fish out there, and this is just going to be a waste of time and effort, and we just cleaned up the nets. Why would we want to go out and just put them down and pull them up one more time to see that they're empty? Dumb. But then you get Peter's absolute, in my mind, his absolute best moment. Because right after he says that to Jesus, he keeps going and he says, but at your command, I will let down the nets. He basically says to Jesus, this is dumb, stupid, it's a bad idea, but I'll do it anyway. And he does. And he not only fills his nets and his boat, he fills the other boat completely with fish, enough fish to be concerned about the boat's sinking. That's a lot of fish. In other words, Peter is expecting nothing, and he's pretty sure he's right, but look what happens. I mean, it's like beyond the complete opposite. And so you just have to ask yourself, do you and I, do we do this? And I think we do. I think we are often like Peter in the first half. We look at Jesus and say, that's dumb. That's stupid. I mean, lots of priests and religious, they'll tell you their vocation story, and they'll tell you, it's pretty common, it's not in everybody's story, but it's not in mine, but they'll tell you that at some point when they felt God calling them, they looked at God and said, you got to be crazy. Like, I can't be a priest or religious. I don't have the talent. I'm not interested. I have other plans. They got all these excuses. And, fortunately, they don't stay there, but that's their initial thought. We know all these biblical commands. We're supposed to forgive. How many of us have basically said, no, there's no way. I got hurt too much. Lord, if you understood how hurt I am by what that person did, you would realize that's a dumb thing to say to me. Don't tell me to forgive that person. I'm never going to forgive that person. The same thing is true in terms of love your enemy. Some of us, we don't love our enemy because we don't know how, and even if we did, we're not really particularly interested in doing it. We're told we're supposed to pray. We're supposed to have a prayer life every day, some routine, something to stay in touch. Paul actually tells us we're supposed to pray all the time, meaning not we're saying rosaries, hour after hour, but that we're in an attitude of prayer even in our daily lives. We're supposed to do that, but we would say to God, I am crazy busy. I'm even doing good things, maybe good things for you. I don't have time to do that stuff. I don't have time to read the Bible. All of those things. Even giving. Like right now, you may be reading the paper. It was like, there's inflation. Inflation is going up. I'm on a fixed income. My wage, I didn't get a raise, but the inflation's going up. And you go like, Jesus, you're asking me to give? No. This is a bad idea. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't know if any of those examples apply to you. Some of them apply to me. But the point is, I think it's okay to say that. I just think we just need to be sure not to stop there. We just need to keep going. We need to do what Peter says. But at your command, because you told me to do it, I'll do it. That is the only reason we've got. Because a lot of our excuses, if you will, or a lot of our explanations for why we're not too crazy about what Jesus asked us to do, some of that's legit. Peter had a very good reason to think he was going to pull up an empty net. But you and I, we might have really good reasons why, no, I don't have enough money to give. I don't have enough time to pray. I don't have enough time to read the Bible. Whatever it is, those are pretty good reasons, probably. But you and I, we just need to put that but. At your command, I'll do this. And trust that if we put down the nets, what's going to come up is not what we're expecting. It's going to come out amazing. I don't know how that would work out for you. I guess it depends on what the issue is. But that's trust. That's what it means to trust in the Lord. I don't have time to pray. I'll pray anyway. I don't have time to read my Bible. I'll read anyway. I don't have any interest in forgiving the person that hurt me, and maybe this is going to take me years, but I'm going to start anyway. I'm going to start now. I don't know how to love my enemy, but maybe I'll start thinking about it. Maybe there is a way to do that. I don't have enough money to give, but I'll give anyway. Whatever it is, doing that is what's going to fill our boat, if you will, with an amazing catch of fish. I don't do this all the time in my life. I wish I could tell you that I do, but I've done it enough to know that it is correct. Absolutely. Every time I add that but to my conversations with God, I always end up with a big boat of fish.